All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's the Milkman. We back with another announcement. Brandrisk 13. We got Gypsy Crusader and Supa Hot Fire. And what I'm going to dub the fight for the right to date white. So, what do I mean by that? Okay, if you guys are unfamiliar with the two personalities that are going toe-to-toe, the one on our left is Gypsy Crusader. And apparently, I'm not too familiar with his content, but from what it seems like, he's, a pro-white content creator, someone who feels, white people have the right to do certain things that others don't. And maybe I'm just oversimplifying things, but this is what I gather. Now, the reason why I say this is a fight for the right to date white is because our fighter on the left, Supa Hot Fire, I don't know if you guys remember in the previous Brandrisk fight, who did he come out with? He came out with some snow bunnies. So I know that must have driven Gypsy Crusader right up the wall. And, if I had the same talking points that Gypsy Crusader had, perhaps this would be a good fight for me. So Gypsy Crusader, I don't know if you guys remember, there's a little bit of lore going into Gypsy Crusader and messing with Brandrisk. If you don't remember, just to catch up to speed just a little bit, Cuffham and Gypsy Crusader were actually had a spat over, I think it was a live stream. Cuffham was talking that hotness, and Gypsy Crusader entertained it. In steps ADINROSS, and a fight was supposed to be scheduled between the two. Turns out, from my understanding, Cuffham actually backed out from the fight, and he offered an alternative in terms of someone who could fight Gypsy Crusader, and long story short, that fight didn't happen. So here we are now. We have Gypsy Crusader with Supa Hot Fire, and a lot of people are writing off Supa Hot Fire. We have here knockout in 30 seconds. Gypsy was a Muay Thai fighter and boxer. Please be Muay Thai, not boxing. I want to see some vintage Gypsy Crusader. So what people are really referring to is the fact that, yes, Gypsy Crusader apparently used to be a Muay Thai fighter, apparently for over a decade. In fact, he even has a championship title for Muay Thai. And based on this fact, people think that he is going to wipe the floor with Supa Hot Fire. Now, one thing we got to keep in mind, though, from my understanding, this is not going to be a Muay Thai fight. This is going to be a boxing fight. So the rules are going to be a little bit different when it comes to Muay Thai and boxing, obviously. Of course, Gypsy Crusader does have the experience from his Muay Thai history. However, with Muay Thai, it's considered the art of 8 limbs. And a lot of those limbs are going to be removed from this matchup, right? Because with boxing, you're not going to be using your legs. You're not going to be using your knees. In terms of striking your opponent, of course, you're going to have to use those to move around. But in terms of using it to hit your opponent, this is not going to be the case. On top of that, man, here's the thing. Supa Hot Fire, I reviewed a couple of his boxing matches, and Supa Hot Fire seems to be taking this boxing thing very serious. When we look at his Brandrisk number 10 fight with Chain Snatcher, it was clear that Supa Hot Fire has some sort of technical experience. What I mean by that is, Chain Snatcher, I don't know in terms of his history or his experience with boxing, but you were able to see that Supa Hot Fire was basically, for the first round, analyzing Chain Snatcher's technique. When it came into the second round, Supa Hot Fire, I believe, was testing out a little bit of what he gathered, what he analyzed, and by the third round, he was making precision shots which ended up in a knockout. And we could fast forward also to the matchup between Supa Hot Fire and Le'Veon Bell. And this was definitely an upset, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this matchup was, look at the matchup. Now, you have a man here, Le'Veon Bell, much taller, clearly much more athletic. If I'm not mistaken, Le'Veon Bell was a football player, and I don't know if he trained for this match, but he's clearly in the boxing field now. Against Supa Hot Fire, much shorter. Looks like his conditioning in terms of his physique is no comparison to Le'Veon Bell. However, this matchup, in my opinion, was sort of an upset because when it came to like people thought that Le'Veon was going to mop the floor with Supa Hot Fire. That was not the case. I want to say it was somewhat evenly matched. Supa Hot Fire went all 3 rounds. He stayed on his feet for the first 2 rounds. And in the 3rd round, where people are considering the upset, is when the referee deemed that Le'Veon knocked him out. But Supa Hot Fire was actually stating that, no, I slipped. Like, this is not a knockout. I slipped. Despite that, in the 3rd round, it seemed like Le'Veon landed a few more punches than Supa Hot Fire, but what was generally accepted was the idea that in the 1st round, Le'Veon took it. In the 2nd round, Supa Hot Fire took it. And from the outset, people wouldn't have thought this would have been the case. All right, so let's jump to now training, because we do have some sort of idea of what Supa Hot Fire is doing in terms of his training. Now, if you guys are not mistaken, this is called the Friendly Fade Factory, and this is in Watts, California, right? So I guess this is in someone's backyard, and what people are doing, what Mans in the Hood are doing, what the Mandem is doing, is just giving out fades, going toe to toe. And if you pull up, someone challenges you to a fade, you have to represent. Right. And the reason why I bring this up is because in this backyard, there's no such thing as, a certain person has more experience than you, or a certain person is a certain class, heavyweight, and you're a middle, or you're a featherweight or a lightweight. No, if you get called out for the fade, you got to handle the fade right there. And I think this is one of the advantages that Supa Hot Fire has when it comes to going toe to toe with Gypsy Crusader, because of course we're thinking that Gypsy Crusader has the experience, Gypsy Crusader has the conditioning, and Gypsy Crusader has the practice, the technique down, and everything. But when it comes to opponents, I feel like and withstanding hits, as well as taking the sport very seriously, I feel like Supa Hot Fire still has some sort of advantage in this fight. So I don't think it's going to be as cut and dry as a lot of people are saying in the comment section. I think this fight, it will go the 3 rounds. Again, Gypsy Crusader can't use his feet. And let me tell you guys, man, this is a fight that, may make Umar Johnson really mad. If Supa Hot Fire represents for the Mandem who like snow bunnies, for the Galdem who like the Mandem, then look, Supa Hot Fire has to represent, because at least the Mans will have that opportunity to say, look, Gypsy Crusader, listen, you got to just let it slide. Umar Johnson, you got to let it slide. But hopefully in this matchup, too, he does come out with a couple of snow bunnies just to make Gypsy Crusader, just to throw him off his square. Not to say that I'm favoring one fighter over the other, but what I'll tell you is that after watching a couple of the Supa Hot Fire matches, I do feel that he's taking boxing very seriously. And in the matchup against Le'Veon Bell, he was clearly upset when the referee deemed that that it was a knockout. He was upset to the point where the commentator, one of the announcers, came in the ring and thought that he was going to go after Adin for that call. But no, he just stormed out of the arena. And honestly, that's what I like to see when it comes to these matchups. I like to see that these fighters are very passionate about the art. It's not just about going in, getting the money, and leaving. No, it's about the legacy. It's about the record. And Supa Hot Fire, man, I really like his strategy and his dedication to it. So let's see. You may be able to find some matchups online when it comes to Gypsy Crusader and his Muay Thai days. But again, if this is just going to be a boxing match and they're going to be going shoulder to shoulder, then this will be a different arena. So again, guys, shout out to ADINROSS. This is going to be in Miami, Brandrisk, number 13, March 14th. Hopefully it's popping. And you guys let me know who you got for this matchup. Leave it in the comments below. I would definitely love to hear your thoughts. But anyways, in the meantime, in between time, you know what time it is? It is the Milkman, and I'm off this. I'll be waiting for another announcement from Adin and the Brandrisk brand to see who they will be announcing next. I previously did a video with Blueface and JHE Ruga. Make sure you guys check that out. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Tell me who you think is going to take that matchup. But yeah, man, I'm off this. Peace.